Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. We're going to be talking about that soon too. Uh, been busy last few days, but happy that Monday is almost here. That sounds a little weird for a lot of people because weekends are free, but for a priest, Monday is the day off, and it's good to have. So I'm happy and looking forward to tomorrow. Although it's going to be a fun one because I'm getting to my late 40s, so I'm going to be getting a lifeline screening done tomorrow. That's going to be fun. Um, Part of the reason for that is because heart issues do run in the family, and I've been over the years making sure that the blood levels are fine. And 5 years ago, I did the lifeline screening for the first time, so I figured, you know what, they're in the area. It's been a few years. I've done keto for the last 9 months. I better make sure I haven't screwed myself up big time. Because the idea of keto is that you're doing high fat. And as my doc told me, don't worry about the saturated fat thing. So hopefully it's going to go well. But anyway, we got a lot to look at tonight. And first thing that I wanted to show, I just came across this afternoon. This is from the Vatican News Service. Basically, I don't remember it because this happened in 1990, but there was this judge who was killed by the mafia in Rome, and today the Vatican declared him to be, he's going to be beatified. Calls Blessed Rosario Lefatino a martyr of justice. And again, I really don't know too much about this. I think I've heard about it before, but again, this happened in 1990, which is almost 31 years ago. Just to let you know, I graduated high school in 92, so I'm getting up there too. But let's be honest, when you're 17, 18, you don't really care what's going on in Italy. I will say that I do remember a lot when the wall fell in '89, and I was excited about that, even though I was only 14 at the time. I remember watching communism fall. And one of the videos I would recommend is I can't Liberating a Continent by Jim Caviezel. He's the narrator. It basically talks about how the impact John Paul II had in bringing down communism. And one of the things John Paul did, I think it was in 1983, was he consecrated Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, like Our Lady had asked at Fatima, and it was shortly after that the thing started to roll. Part of the thing, too, that helped was in 78, when he was elected Pope, he wanted to return to Poland for this, I think it was the 500th or the 1000th anniversary of a saint. The commies said no, so in exchange for 3 days, they gave him 9 days in September, and that gave rise to Solidarity, Lech Walesa, Solidarity movement, which is, if you remember your history, Poland is the first of the communist countries to fall. So a lot of that began with John Paul II. So anyway, but this is looking at the article for the first time. This is, I guess, the Holy Father gave his Regina Caeli prayer this afternoon. And usually what happens after that is the Pope will give a little talk. I attended it when I was in Rome 3 years ago. I figured I wasn't going to know a single thing that was being said, but you know, the idea that you could see the Holy Father, it's probably the only chance I'm going to get to see this one. So I went, and I will say that I got to see him a lot better from the camera pictures I took than looking at him through the window from like 4 stories up or whatever it was. So, in his service to the common good, as an exemplary judge who never succumbed to corruption, he sought to judge, not to condemn, but to redeem. The Pope said his work placed him firmly under the protection of God. For this reason, he became a witness to the gospel, even unto a heroic death. He was killed. He's an Italian judge who was killed in 1990 by hired gunmen under orders from the heads of the Sicilian organized crime groups, Stidia and Cosa Nostra. I should know that. I like mob movies. Anyway, okay, so the beatification took place, I guess, today at the Cathedral of, I'm not even going to try to say that, but by Cardinal Semerovo. Again, I can't do that. But he was killed in 1990. Oh, wait, that's a repeat. Yeah, it's a repeat. Repeat paragraph. Anyway, on the same day as his beatification, the Dicastery for Promotion of Integral Human Development announced that it has set up a working group dedicated to excommunications of mafia members. I thought they already did that. I think Benedict issued a papal umbrella saying if you're involved in the mafia, you're excommunicated. Anyway, so the working group will seek to study the theme of excommunication of mafia members, work with bishops around the world, and promote various initiatives in this field. Okay, so that is that. So that's some good news. There was another article I was going to look at from, let's see, I have my little article list here. I'm going to bring this up. This is coming from the BBC. This is the article I first came across before I saw the Vatican News article, and I don't think it's going to be too much different than what I just was talking about. Okay, so let's make sure that's up there. Okay, so the Catholic Church beatified Rosario in a service at, again, the city I'm not even going to try, in Sicily, 28 years to the day that he was declared a martyr. Okay, so John Paul II made that statement in 93 and famously denounced the mafia. This guy was working on a mass trial against mafia members at the time he was killed. And now he has the title Blessed. So this is one of the last steps before a person is declared to be a saint. This is a British article, so they use a different term for canonization than we do in America, because we use a Z instead of a S. So, let's see. On September 21st, 1990, members of the mafia group Stida fired into his Ford Fiesta as he drove to court. He had refused protection and was found in a roadside ditch a few miles from his home. Another thing I'm thinking of right now as I'm talking, look up the story of Jerzy Popolowski. I think he was just declared a saint a few years ago. He was a Polish priest, again, during the time of Solidarity, again, because of John Paul II. The KGB, there was like 2 KGB agents that kidnapped him, beat him to death, and then threw the body in the lake. And they kind of made that into a movie back in 89, I think, with, oh, what's his name? He was in Highlander, and Ed Harris as the KGB guy. Anyway, so his killers were later found guilty and received life sentences. And I do remember this, that John Paul II basically made a direct appeal to the mob members, convert, the judgment is coming. So, that's an interesting thing there. So, that is that. Now, this, again, is going into the second thing. As you know, today is Mother's Day, and right before we went live, I got to talk to my mom. And I am going home, I think, 3 weeks from today. I think it's 3 weeks from today. So I'm looking forward to that because it's been since August of 2019 that I've been able to go home. And with my parents being high risk and up in their 70s. Anyway, so this is coming from NARAL, the National Abortion Rights Action League. Congressman Cori Bush, who is a BLM activist out of St. Louis, basically gave testimony this week saying every day black birthing people and our babies die because our doctors don't believe in our pain. So this has been the latest woke keyword, black birthing, or I'm sorry, just birthing people. And NARAL responded, when we talk about birthing people, we're being inclusive. It's that simple. We use gender-neutral language when talking about pregnancy because it's not just cisgender women that can get pregnant. It's not just cisgender women that can get pregnant and give birth. Reproductive freedom is for everybody. So again, this is going into the category that's saying men can be women and give birth. I know I'm going to be careful how I say this on here because YouTube can't strike me, but Elliot Page was just talking about this in an interview that almost misgendered her. Well, I just misgendered him. This is stupidity. With all this stuff that's going on, I just keep praying that the Lord will come soon because this is nuts. Um, let's see. I will say that with all the insanity that's going on right now, at least there's some sane people, and I use that term lightly, because I guess both Pelosi and Biden praised moms on Mother's Day amid the talk of birthing people. And this is insanity. Um, Pelosi tweeted, "Our mothers are our guardian angels, and we carry them always in our hearts, whether or not we're blessed to have them with us. Happy Mother's Day to you and to your family." For once, I agree with Nancy Pelosi on something.
Hey, hey, hey.
And one of the articles we're going to look at in a bit is a follow up to last week from the Archbishop of San Francisco, who issued the appeal to those that support abortion and politicians, Catholic politicians. The Archbishop of Phoenix, Bishop Olmsted, issued a statement basically supporting the Archbishop of San Francisco. Let's see. Okay, so the White House said moms have always built, shaped, led, and sustained this country, and we're committed to fighting for the safe and equitable workplaces, affordable health care, child care, and equal pay that every mom deserves. Happy Mother's Day. Again, love it. Not bad. But Cori Bush again, birthing people. And the NARAL tweet. So I guess Senator Ted Cruz kind of got into it. We'll zoom in. I hate these ads. Come on. Okay, so happy birthing people with mother erased out. So anyway, I'm gonna try to see. So we got a few people watching. I'm happy to have you guys here. I know that on some other streams it allows you to see who is viewing it. I'm going to try to do this without having my sound kick in. Looks like it worked. Let me see. Okay. Oh, looks like I can tell that Chris Perzer is here. Good to see you, Chris. Oh, and he did respond. Yeah, I do remember that. I forgot about that. Uh, Pelosi basically said all references to gender was supposed to be outlawed in the House. So she's breaking her own rules, but she already did that too because she is requiring everybody to go through the metal detector, but refused to go through it herself. I believe she fined two Republicans $500 for not going through the metal detector. And anyway, and last time I checked, a mother was a gendered term. Yeah, basically any animal that gives birth to offspring is referred to as a mother. I mean, my cat is neutered, so she's not able to give birth because we took care of that. But if and I actually did not know this when I got her spayed, but I guess, and I gotta phrase this: my cat was 6 months old, I think. No, maybe 4 months old, and we got her spayed, and it turned out she was pregnant. We didn't know that until they went through the procedure to fix her. So yeah, I mean, mama cat. I don't know what they would call a dog. I mean, we had cats on the farm growing up, so it was always mother cat bringing up her kittens. Anyway, so and again, as you know, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this because I know I couldn't even do it. But yeah, it's dehumanizing, and it's basically, you know, I think we're starting to see the backlash, hopefully. I mean, just how insane this is that you're not supposed to use Mother's Day to refer to mothers. So, and good evening to you too. So, I guess no member stream with Gary tonight, but I'm hoping that we can find out about Vegas soon because I really want to get my trip booked. I currently am looking at staying at the Flamingo because it's in the center of the strip, and through Delta, I can get a good deal on both flight and hotel. So I really want to get that done soon. And Chris, if you're welcome to join on our Friday afternoon stream before Friday Night Tights. So, okay, this kind of brings us into the next bit of insanity. So let me make sure I got this one right. I give a hat tip to Lady Gravemaster for this one because in Canada, as you probably heard, there was a pastor that was arrested today or yesterday for leading a church service in defiance against. I got to be careful how I show this video because there are a few no-no words, and I don't mean no as in I'm going to have to go to confession for it, but no where it comes to be like this. So I've learned on YouTube and Facebook you got to be careful the words you use because I did YouTube put me in Facebook jail a few months ago over a post I posted. Oh, what was it? 3-4 years ago of Be Mine, and it had the guy, the German nut, on there, and I guess that goes against their community standards. So it's pretty much now where you don't refer to the party and stuff. But I guess from what I had heard at the time, the Canadian police came into this guy's church. I don't know if it was on Good Friday. I know that they did that in England. And this pastor basically told them, get out. So we'll listen to some.
Please get out. Get out of this property. Immediately get out. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. Out. Out of this property. Immediately out. Immediately go out and don't come back. I don't want to talk to you. Not a word. Out of this property. Out this property. Immediately out. I don't care what you have to say. Out. Out of this property. Go.
I wouldn't do it this way.
Go. And don't come back without the warrant.
It's never been an option for us.
Out. You understand? Nazis are not welcome here. Out.
I don't think I would call them that either.
And don't come back without the warrant. Do not come back without the warrant. You understand that? You're not welcome here. Nazis are not welcome here. Gestapo is not welcome here. Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths. Back here.
Festival? Unbelievable. What is wrong with those sick psychopaths? It's beyond me. Wow.
Okay, so that's interesting there. Let me just see. Yes. Good to see you, Ian. Out. Yeah, I agree, Trent. As you know, I've talked to Odin about this when it first started. I was in favor of the shutdown in the beginning, mostly because my congregation is older, and I did lose a parishioner to the thing that shall not be named. Again, you can't use the German Socialist Party from the 30s name because that's a no-no. And from what I've been learning on this, you can't use the bug that shall not be named because YouTube doesn't like that. I don't know. And plus, anyway. But yeah, we in my 3 churches, we have taken down the dividers now. We're putting out the holy water again. And as I told people, it's like, the risks. I leave it up to you. Now, I am vaccinated. I had my second shot about a month ago, and I'm still feeling good. I never had any side effects. I'm happy about that. And I will say, now that I'm vaccinated, I do not wear the mask when I go outside to Walmart. Don't. Now, I've been told for the screening that I'm having done tomorrow, for those watching that are just joining, Lifeline is coming. So I'm just going to get a 5-year checkup just to make sure that the keto diet that I'm doing hasn't really messed up my arteries. So they say you have to wear a mask. I'm fine with that. But, the thing that drives me nuts is the anti-vaxxers on one side and the mask Yahtzees on the other. So, but this pastor got in trouble again. Let me see. Yeah, again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about communism and under John Paul and how everything happened. So, I don't think he's Catholic. I mean, it doesn't look like he's Catholic. From what I was reading, it sounds like he's a street preacher, although church. Looking at the windows, it looks like he had Hebrew on the windows. So I don't know if it's a Jewish church or not, but okay. I'm going to open up this window. So let's do this. Okay, so this is from today.
Service in the middle of the road. They waited with AHS.
Let me know if the sound's working.
And here they are.
Because I think I clicked it on the audio.
Behind. So we'll see what is about to happen. Freedom in Canada, democracy in Canada, full force, unbelievable.
Hello, sir.
Gangsters are here.
So, as per the injunction that was served on Arthur here and David back here,
Thanks, Ian.
I am to place both of them under arrest for breaching the Queen's Bench order.
Both of us under arrest.
Yes, sir. Would you please step out of the car?
What's your name, officer?
Andrews, 5244.
Okay.
So how do you feel being a Nazi now? And then we got a gangster here.
See,
How do you-
I
how do
wouldn't
you
go
feel
around
about
calling the
being
cops
Nazi and breaking the-
Yahtzees.
Gestapo?
Especially
What's
with
his,
everything that's
officer,
going on
what's your
right now.
name
I
and,
support
number?
the
What's your
police.
name and number, please?
5283 Constable Darwood.
A Nazi. A lawbreaker. You're breaking the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. How can you look in your mirror, man?
So I have advised both you and Mr. Pulaski over there that you guys are both under arrest. Please, if you would, step out of the vehicle and comply.
Sure. Report. Yes.
Jump ahead a little bit.
Open the door, man. Whoa! Stop!
Stay in the car.
They're doing this in the middle of the highway. Now, I wonder if it's because he went to the middle of the highway. I mean, yeah, this is in Canada.
What's your name, officer?
Do it the Nazi style. Do it the Nazi style. You're good Gestapo, do it the Nazi style. Do it the Nazi style.
Good heavens, look at that.
Do it the Nazi style! Do it! They'll taser me, kill me!
Okay, that's, I wouldn't,
Do it the Nazi style.
chief.
Shame on you guys. This is not communist China. Don't you guys have family and kids? Whatever happened to Canada? God keep our land glorious and free. What are they going to do when they come for your kids? Shame on you guys. You call yourselves Canadians? Man, where's your oath? Where's your honor? Where's your dignity? You guys aren't Canadian.
But this brings us to another video, and I think Ninja Knight I have to thank for this one, because the police in Ireland broke up a mass recently too.
Do you know you're in the house of God? Are we back in the penal
Remember,
times?
back in the penal times, Catholics would be fine.
Are we back in the penal times when mass was banned? When we had to go to mass rocks?
Houses would have. If you ever saw Skyfall,
What's your name,
that
Garner?
place James Bond hides at the end was the
What's
priest
your
hole.
name,
That's where
Garner?
the priest would hide when the authorities were coming.
What's your name, Garner? Huh?
I'll tell you my name outside and I'll get your name and details.
Huh? You're more than welcome to them. We're here practicing our faith. Huh? Nobody went to the Black Pits Mosque in Dublin, did they? Huh? Nobody went to the Black Pits Mosque in Dublin. I says nobody. There was no guards going to the Black Pits Mosque in Dublin.
Okay, I'm a guard here in that lawn.
Yeah.
I can't go in Dublin.
Yeah.
That's where I'm.
Again, you know, if they had, when everybody was out in the streets last summer protesting, rioting, and everything, they never really raised the fuss about the spread of COVID, the thing that shall not be named. That's kind of when they lost me on this. I mean, I still wore the mask, but anyway, that kind of brings us to the next thing, which is going to be brought to you by the letters WTH. What the heck? So last week on Thursday, I came across an article that basically said the headline, and it's what the headline for the chat tonight is. Let's bring that up. Vatican conference features Facui, Francis, and Areosmith. I gotta say, that is like, what the heck? I didn't even know they were having a conference. I guess the conference went from Thursday to yesterday. And I was going to mention Trent and my diocese and my state, the dispensation from the Mass is being lifted 2 Sundays from now. So in our diocese and our state, it is going to be a sin if on Pentecost going forward, you do not come to church. Again, in our state, we really don't have that many cases right now. So, and again, in my little part of the state, I don't think we've had an active case, and I don't know when. I know one priest in our diocese that got hit with it, and that was about a month ago, I think. And if Barb is watching, I think I saw your comment or something. If you're watching, don't know if he is recovering and everything. But, okay, so apparently the CEOs of Pfizer and Moderna were joining cardinals, academics, and again, you know what, I was going to film a video about this yesterday because, again, okay, the CEOs of Pfizer and Moderna, I can understand, but how does the lead singer of Aerosmith fit into a Vatican conference on the pandemic? But you know what? After reading it, after going through the things I'm going to show, it kind of makes sense, but it's still weird. So it began Thursday, it ended yesterday. Pope Francis had a virtual audience, and I guess this was supposed to be happening last year. But the real cherry on the top is Chelsea Clinton spoke at it. And we're going to look at that too. That is beyond dumbfounding. So Fauci, who it seems that the media has raised to the level of a living saint, I don't consider him to be anymore. I used to listen to him, but now I really don't. And anyway, so he's the one that leads the U.S. pandemic response, opened the meeting by saying the pandemic had confirmed to him that faith and science are constantly evolving. Okay. And that scientists in particular must humbly admit they don't have all the answers all the time. One answer that the director said he did have was the key to overcoming the current vaccine hesitancy is pairing the right medical message with the right messenger. Yeah, and that's the thing that, I know people that are very hesitant to take this vaccine, and I don't think you're going to convince them by having Chelsea Clinton tell people you should take the vaccine, or having Obama tell people you should take the vaccine, because there's a lot of people on the right that do not trust him. And I don't think you're going to get them convinced. You have a deeply religious person who will listen to their clergy. That's different than me with a suit going into an area telling people to do something. Yeah, I mean, as I said to my people, I took it, and we'll look at a chart. I tried explaining this last week. This kind of goes back to the letter from the Archbishop of San Francisco, talking about our participation in an evil act, and that, with the vaccine, our cooperation, I'm going to look at it back there. So it's remote, immediate, material cooperation. So basically, it's making a contribution to the act that does not lead to the commission of the act. So kind of like how we pay tax dollars and how our tax dollars are used to support Planned Parenthood and other things that go against our faith. So yeah. Yeah, we talk about media cooperation and evil. You got proximate and remote. Again, remote would be you're making a contribution, but it doesn't lead to the act being done. Proximate is making a contribution to the act that leads to the commission of the act. So basically, like, I would say it'd probably be like giving money to Planned Parenthood. Even though, yeah, it's basically by giving money to Planned Parenthood to carry out their functions, you're basically participating in their killing of children. Where, again, remote cooperation and evil, tax dollars, tax day is coming up. It's a little late this year because of the thing again, but my measly little tax dollars is not going to make a huge difference. Heaven forbid it should go to Planned Parenthood or these other groups. But again, it's not my intention. So let's see. I'm just looking at it. Okay, so from what I can see, Alberta was allowing church mass as long as they remained at or below 15. Ooh, that's not much. It also depends on the size of the church. In my church, because I have a small parish of about 40-some families, I think the church capacity might be 200. But there's a difference between a church capacity of 200 and, let's just say, St. Patrick's in New York City, which I've been to a number of times, and that thing can hold thousands. I can't imagine having 15% there. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Get the vaccine, but you still have to wear the mask. No, I'm not doing it. So, but yeah, so this article, this headline is dumbfounded when I first saw it. But this then leads to the other thing. Let's see if I can bring that up. Again, wondering what the heck is going on. I can understand Fauci. I mean, he's a medical guy. How Chelsea Clinton can speak at the Vatican dumbfounds me, even though it's being done by Zoom. And this is the thing that is dumbfounding. Let's see, where is it? She called for the exploring of mind, body, and soul, and for the regulation of anti-vaccine content on social media. You know what? I still have some concerns about it. I mean, you look at Johnson Johnson, all the stuff that's happening, blood clots and all that. The daughter of the former president and former Secretary of State began by thanking the Vatican for convening the virtual meeting. She is such a. I mean, I remember her basically lamenting her grandmother never had the chance to have Planned Parenthood. You know, she distinguished between being vaccine hesitant and vaccine refusal. I think by opening your mouth, you're leading to both. We have to realize that there are very different reasons why people may say not now, not ever. And she explained that the Clinton Foundation was seeking to reach both those who are reluctant to receive the vaccine and those who refuse it outright through trusted messengers. You know what? Get somebody other than the Clinton Foundation. Because honestly, if it comes from the Clinton Foundation, I don't want to listen to it. And this will be interesting here. We're doing work. We've done work with a number of different religious communities, including some of our Catholic partners. I'd like to know who those Catholic partners are. Is it Courage or no, Nuns on the Bus? I really like to know what those Catholic partners are. To really help ensure that whoever is able to have a conversation is able to preempt or to answer whatever questions people may have. And even for those who are currently in the refusing group, to get a message like, the vaccines are waiting for you and the vaccinators will be too, whenever you are comfortable, and we're going to keep reaching out to you to try to get you comfortable. See, and this is coming from Catholic News Agency. Clinton, a Methodist and a supporter of legal abortion. And this is why I don't want to listen to her. I personally very strongly believe that there has to be more intensive and international coordinated global regulation on the content of social media platforms. So it's kind of getting to be the area where if you question the last election, you know, you might get banned. I know Odin's movie review, or I don't remember, OMB Reviews, the channel he started up, got demonetized because he made a video quoting articles talking about the election, and that's a no-no, I guess. So I don't like this. You know, again, this goes into the thing. I don't care for the anti-vaxxers, and I also don't care for the mask Yahtzees. You will do this. I don't care for that. And she's lamenting that there was a video going around Latin America that's had tens of millions of views. And you know, I've had people come up to me too, basically saying that there's all these conspiracy theories and everything. I don't believe in the conspiracy theories. I don't think Bill Gates is putting a chip in the vaccine. But at the same time, I also don't think you should crack down on this. So, but anyway, that's that one. The Nerdporial Life Forum. Good to see you. And yeah, Clinton speaking at the Vatican scares me. Again, you want to reach out to those that are hesitant to get the vaccine, that doesn't trust the government. Chelsea Clinton's the last person you should be listening to, because I don't want to hear her. Okay, so why is... Oh, thank you. Make sure it's the Nerd Father. Don't... Make sure it's not Father Miller's channel, but the Nerd Father. I have two accounts. The one that you see me interact with Gary and other podcasters is under my public account. This is the nerd part, the fun part of it. So, okay, so, and again, for those watching, if you haven't yet, please hit the ring, or the notification, the sub button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell so you can be notified when new videos are coming up. I'm getting a year into doing this. It's getting easier, but I'm still getting a little tongue-tied on my scripts. Okay, so this is the Vatican conference site that was just happening the last 3 days. And again, you know, I could go through it and look at the speakers and everything. Let's see. There it is. Okay, so Pope Francis, fine. You got the Cardinal Secretary of State, fine. You got the Sovereign Order of Malta, okay. The hosts, again, okay. But these speakers, these speakers to me are like the nominations for Best Picture and for most of the Oscars this year. Never heard of them. But there are some, and again, if you look at the groups that they're running, I can understand it. I can understand their input into it. You got Moderna. You got a professor of theology of the sciences at St. Andrews School of Divinity. Let's see. You got, I don't know what Salesforce is. Professor of psychology at Yale. Okay. Pfizer. Don't know what that is. Never heard of the Corpa Global. Let's see. Professor of Health Policy, fine. What is Clinton's... Why is Clinton there? And this is the other thing, too, that blew me away. Cindy Crawford is there. Why? She's a model. I don't think she has much in... Let's see what that says under the biography. Okay, so talking about being a model, working with Revlon, Pepsi, creating exercise videos. Let's see, meaningful beauty, created with cosmic surgeon, comestic, I can't say it. Somebody that's referred to as the youth guru. Okay. She has the Cindy Crawford home collection. Fine. What makes you qualified to speak at a global conference about a pandemic? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was showing up. Sorry, I didn't realize it didn't show up anyway. But what I read was under the biography for her. So I'm going to try to do it this way. Let's go to, again, let's see. Again, I mean, a lot of these titles are impressive. Although Jane Goodall, I mean, God love her. She does a lot of good, but how does she exactly work on a health pandemic? I don't know. Let's see, where is he? A lot of people speaking at this thing. Kerry Kennedy, I don't know if that's Robert Kennedy's daughter, or I think it's Robert Kennedy's daughter, the Senator Kennedy, not her. If it's Kerry Kennedy and her brother is Robert Kennedy Jr., I know Robert Kennedy Jr. is a vaccine nut. Okay, this one I don't know how. Brandon Marshall, okay, NFL athlete, fine. I don't know what he would bring to a pandemic summit. Here we go, Joe Perry. Now this is why I didn't release the video yesterday, because let's see if I can do it like this. And let's see if it's still showing up. Okay, I'm going to have to zoom in on this. Okay, so all about Areosmith, fine. But it says here he was asked to appear alongside this doctor, professor of neurology at Harvard. And I guess they started something called the Rock Stars of Science. And he then participated in a panel discussion on Capitol Hill in front of senators and congressmen focused on promoting cures and improving therapies. Fine. In 2010, he was given the title of the founding father of the Rock Stars of Science program. So, I mean, okay, I can understand. I mean, he's been involved in this. I don't know what his expertise on this is, but, you know, when you say that Aerosmith is coming to the Vatican, that just is weird. So, anyway. Let's see, what do we have? Is that Cindy Crawford? yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Well, I mean, gotta be careful how I say this. I mean, there are people that would listen to her just because she is a beautiful face. Um, Times have been good to her. I think she's almost in her 60s right now. Let's see. Let's see. The majority of these people are mask and vaccine Yazis or BML supporters. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know how this stuff works, but anyway. The other thing I was going to mention too is this article I just found. Again, to pray because I think we're starting to see trouble in Germany. I did make a video on this. Let's hope this thing will let me read it. Okay, so in Germany later this month, I think maybe even this weekend or so, they were supposed to have this huge same-sex blessing done by priests. And it was less than a month ago that the Vatican answered a question with a negative answer that the church does not have the ability to bless same-sex unions because, again, the purpose of a sexual union is the unity of the couples and the procreation of life. And you can't separate one from the other. We would call that the two goods of marriage. You can't separate one from the other. So this really did not go over well in Germany. And Father James Martin was not happy about it too. And so was Father Thomas Rees. Anyway, so it's the latest sign of how far liberal German Catholics are pushing the boundaries of the Vatican's authority. Okay, so most of them are on Monday, and 20 of these are going to be live streamed. They're going to have to answer for this. Since his election in 2013, Pope Francis has contended with deepening divisions in the global Catholic Church between conservatives, including in the U.S. and Africa, who are uncomfortable with his more liberal approach to matters including divorce and homosexuality, and progressives with Germany, who are impatient with what they see as reluctance to back substantive changes. And here's the key. Conservative bishops in Germany, the U.S., and elsewhere have warned that such changes could lead to a schism in the universal church. Yeah, I mean, again, as I said, you go back, don't look at what the Wall Street Journal says that the church said. Go to the Vatican's website where you could read not only the question, the explanation, but also the commentary of why the church says it cannot bless same-sex unions. But let's see. The Bishop of Germany said he wasn't going to punish any priests that took part in that. And that's not right. I mean, again, he's going to have to answer to God for that. And, as somebody was saying to me recently about, I think I mentioned it before. Okay, so President Biden as vice president officiated at a same-sex wedding, but he says that he's a devout Catholic. Well, the thought would be is that we're not trying to force our faith down your throats and everything. The idea of abortion. What's going to win the abortion battle is getting people to see what the horror is that's happening. A change of hearts is what's going to win the battle rather than a law, because you can ban something, but as we know from prohibition, didn't work. So you got to change the hearts. But my response would be, okay, so you say that you're a devout practicing Catholic who doesn't want to force your views on others. Well, then as a devout practicing Catholic, you shouldn't be participating in something that the church says you shouldn't be doing. Same thing with Nancy Pelosi and abortion. Okay, so Nancy says she's a devout practicing Catholic. Well, then, as a devout practicing Catholic, you don't speak at the Margaret Sanger Award, the highest award that Planned Parenthood can give for somebody. You know, if you say you're a devout practicing Catholic, then you turn it down. So, anyway, I'm going to end with some stupidity. Not that we haven't had enough of it already. But as you probably have seen, DC is issuing a new Captain America, which I'm still dumbfounded over. So I guess this is the 80th anniversary of Captain America being released. And supposedly this United States of Captain America, and Sam Wilson are going to go on this cross-country journey trying to find his stolen shield, and they're going to come across everyday Captain Americas who's doing, you know, who's trying to protect their community. This one is going to be, I want to make sure I pronounce it correct. Okay, Joe Gomez, who is a member of the Kickapoo tribe, and it is a real tribe. I think they're in Kansas. I'm trying to remember because I've actually been through that area and remember seeing how Kickapoo, it sounds like a fun name, but it is a real tribe. But the costume that they gave, and, you know, again, I think from what I heard about Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the whole Captain America shield has a history behind it. Complicated history. Yet they're going to feature it probably on Native Americans who, let's be honest, we didn't treat as well. This is the stupidity of it here. This is his outfit. I mean, look at the shoes. Unless he has superpowers, I don't know how you fight crime and run in crime in that. And I gotta be careful what I say because it could probably come off as being a little... the R word. Ist. I can't believe that this is a thing. I mean, this comes after... Let's see if this will... They're going to be introducing an alphabet cap the same time, and this is coming out during June. And he's supposed to be the hobo of the railways, protecting the people. I haven't intentionally bought a Marvel comic, and I don't know, it's probably been 2-3 years, because there really hasn't been anything out there that I've been interested in. I used to have a subscription to Deadpool, but after the third reboot, I think it was, like 2-3 years ago, it just lost. It was right after Deadpool 2 came out, and they did the reboot. It just lost the funness of it. And I had subscribed to Fantastic Four when they brought them back, and I think I let it go 23 issues before I canceled it because it just isn't fun. And I can't imagine a Fantastic Four movie for the 4th time succeeding. So he's going to be one of 5 versions of Captain America, each coming from different walks of life, and each of them taking up the mantle in order to defend their communities. Yeah, thank you, Sol. I was right. It was Kickapoo in Kansas. So 2 summers ago, I got to drive Interstate 70 through Kansas because I wanted to go see the Eisenhower Library. And I had to go to Topeka because I wanted to do some family research down there because there's Millers in Kansas. Millers came from Pennsylvania. They settled in Iowa and Kansas and Missouri. So I'm into genealogy. So I decided to go down. When I was a little bit closer to Topeka, I used to go down there often just to go look up obituaries and stuff. Because, you know, through obituaries you can find out descendants of where they came, marriage and all that stuff. And I still look at that. But I remember driving through it, seeing Kickapoo a lot. So, anyway. Yeah. I don't know if I even want to touch that one. That doesn't exactly strike fear into me. The thing that's going to be interesting to see, and I'm not even going to buy it. I don't want to buy it. You know, if I see it, I might do it on a service that already puts it up there. There's a lot of old comics that are online that you can read. I am not going to intentionally buy that, because if I just can't imagine a guy that's going to decide he's going to protect people looking like that, being able to stand up to brutes. Anyway, so with that, I am going to wrap it up. It's about the top of the hour. Getting a little bit easier with this, doing a solo stream. I'm going to try to get Father Patrick on next week. Again, thank you everybody for joining me. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. I just broke 700 last week, so I'm excited about that, but I gotta get more watch hours. You know, as I say, it would be fun if I could ever reach monetization. Try saying that fast. I cannot say it. But, you know, that's not why I started this channel. I started it originally to do videos about the faith and nerddom stuff. And it's one of the good things that's come out of this pandemic is being able to participate in this stuff. So with that, I'm going to end. And until next week, God bless.